And you've done an amazing job describing all that's transpired since Friday, but maybe you can help walk us through this as well.
Well, this just shows the reference. So you have what went from less than a foot on parts of the Guadalupe River to 23 feet. So what does that mean? You say 23 feet, well, that's 2 stories, just about 2 stories. Or you can think about like 3 average dudes, standing on each other's shoulders.
Yeah.
Right? And how quickly. So that kind of rise right there, happening in an hour or two, happening at night, happening while people are sleeping.
And that explains why in the recent video we saw an entire house that was lifted from its foundation, floating down a river, a tributary there, before it rested there right at the bridge. Now that water has receded, there it is right there. Still hard to believe, but these are images that we received, and in some cases, homes, vehicles were toppled, destroyed, broken apart. In this case, you see what appears to be an entire structure, intact, floating down the river.
I've got 2 babies at home. It's the least I could do. They're home safe, and there's people out there that they're missing their children or their family members. So I feel like it's the least I could do to help. So, yeah, it's what I would want if my kids were missing. So, yeah. It's gut-wrenching watching all of this happen. I mean, it happened so fast, and I wanted to come out sooner, but I also didn't want to be in the way of waiting for things to get done. So, we came out as quick as we could to help search, hopefully to find people that are still alive. So, but it's devastating looking at everything, and to think that this was underwater 2 days ago tugs on my heart. So,
next day we know this family, the couple, were missing in their 70s, and waited for the road to clear. On the 5th, we came and we searched about 10 miles. We found 2 bodies, a little girl and a little boy, and then we finally came up here and we found the dad that we were looking for. And today we came back because we haven't found the wife, and we believe she's still here in the area. And so we had a great group of people show up, about 40 to 50 volunteers, just looking through rummage and digging up as much as we can. We were focused where we found the husband, Mr. Jose Olvera, thinking because they were holding hands when they got washed away. And we focused there and trying to get as closest to the body as we could, but we just started kind of going that way. And then we found him next to the house where he lived, just 25, 50 feet in the creek.
In Kerrville, in Kerr County, there are 59 confirmed deceased. There's still 11 missing from Camp Mystic. Separate from there, in the Central Texas area, there are confirmed 10 deceased. And across the state, in all the areas affected by flooding, there are 41 known missing.
One of the questions that still hasn't been answered 3 days into this is, despite TEM's warning on July 2nd, July 3rd, that something like this could have happened, that the threat existed, why that information didn't get down to the camps and why they weren't evacuated. Can you answer that now?
That is a great question, but again, we want to make sure that we continue to focus. We still have 11 missing children that we want to get reunited with our families. Until we can get reunited with our families, we are not going to stop. We are not going to stop until we do. So, thank you.
Pick your favorite football team, and now imagine that team has, instead of 11 players, has 8 players. They're going to lose. No matter how good they are, they can't do the job of the full team. And that's what's happening at NOAA. Is these are outstanding scientists, wonderful technicians, terrific policy folks. But if we don't have enough of them doing the job, then something falls off the table. without research, without staff to do the work, we can assume that the predictions, and not just hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, drought, wildfires, tsunamis, for that matter, are undoubtedly going to degrade. And that means that people's ability to prepare for these storms will be compromised. It undoubtedly means that additional lives will be lost and probably more property damage. And so you don't get the quality of the forecast and the watches and warnings and alerts if you don't have the people and the observational capabilities, and you can't fly the planes or the satellites are not giving you the data. You're going to suffer. We will be lucky if we can hold steady in terms of the current capabilities. So whatever metric you choose to use to describe the accuracy of the forecast of a hurricane, of a winter storm, of a heat wave, right now is probably as good as it will get. Now, with the budget that's been submitted, in which the administration proposes the complete and total elimination of research at NOAA, I can pretty much guarantee there will be no improvements. If Congress chooses to remediate that and provide resources for research, then I feel like we'll be able to hold our own and maybe see some improvements, but certainly not at the pace that we were seeing them before.
偷偷告诉大家，我最近发现了新法宝 Royal Face 逆时奇迹系列，它有活肤露、全效精华，还有精华霜。尤其我皮肤比较偏干，所以我非常的注重保湿。保湿做得好，肌肤自然烹润。提亮肤色更年轻，抚平皱纹超有感，而且气色变好。用心保养，每天都更美丽。美吧。